warm welcome to everyone here as we gather around and settle in for session 6 of the Shrouded Shore. I'm Amelie, Dragon Mom and Dungeon Master for today's session, and with me today are Cross as...
This year.
Draken as...
Maker.
Vertizen as...
I'm Grim.
And just in the nick of time, Yulia as...
Bayleaf.
And before getting onto anything else, I will say today marks our first session with a new system. With 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons not being my favorite system to start with, and its owners doing a better job convincing people to try other games than I ever could, we have shifted fully to Pathfinder 2nd edition. We're working with a new Foundry module here, so there might be a few technical hiccups to sort out along the way, but everything ought to be ready to pick up where we left off. Speaking of which, would anyone like to kick us off with a summary of last session? Oh,
let's have Yuli do it.
Really? Does the header is broken? Really? Okay, thank you, Twitch chat.
Yeah, the header still says
Session 5.
Hey, look, I'm amazing and I can do it. I'm very good at waking up.
Go for it.
Alright. So, last session, we enacted the plan. The party moving together, masquerading as workmen for the what do we call it? Foundry, the workshops.
Yeah, the industrial center of...
Yeah, the industrial center. We successfully snuck in, pretending that we knew exactly, we were supposed to be there. And we made our way towards control center, I suppose. First we went down into the mines to get some very valuable soul gems from a couple of constructs. Thanks, in part, being able to do that because of the great big destruction that was going on from the Partu Liberation Front, who were attacking the eastern gates, the eastern section of town, the academy. We were able to successfully wrest a control necklace. What do we call those devices?
Talisman.
Okay, talisman. From the person down in the mines, shutting down the trolls and getting their gems. We then took those on up to the control center, where some blagging and bluffing got us in. A slightly resilient man withstood our attempts to knock him out for a surprising amount of time. But we did that, and we had control of the control room. We promptly, did some very important standing around while the more clever members of the party actually, set the lava to explode. And once that was done, we made ready for our escape. Only a nice-ish man that some of the party members had actually liked had arrived to try and save the town, to recapture it. And understandably so, this is people's homes. Him and some other miners, the foreman also had a talisman of his own controlling another construct, tried to stop us, tried to waylay us, tried to get in and save everything, to be heroes, and really kicked the crap out of us. But thankfully, we were able to wrest control of the construct, set it to guard the door, and make our escape. Floating down through the air, landing into the town as lava erupted all around us. The mission of sabotage successfully going off. We made our way out, being careful, moving slow, trying not to attract attention as we were all incredibly hurt. We managed to get out of town, meet up with the resistance, and ride off into the sunset on Crab.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was fine.
That's a very good summary. Everyone, give a hand to Yulia for pulling that off. As far as I can tell, she woke up like 5 minutes ago or something, as far as I can tell.
I am a mum. I need to know how to get my brain into gear at a moment's notice.
Also, Yuli is missing her talking
Yes,
square.
yes.
Yeah,
we
we
commented
know.
on that already. It's,
Okay.
I don't know
I didn't hear
why.
that.
I don't know why. There's no reason it's not there. I've changed
OBS
nothing.
can be very funny with join order and loading assets up sometimes.
Yes. Okay. Technical issues I was talking about, people. They're here and they're real. Anyhow.
Yuli is unbound.
Oh dear. At any rate, travel through the scorched wastes surrounding Airgead is dangerous at the best of times. But these are not the best of times, and in a rare exception to the rule, the current disaster seems to have made them at least marginally safer. The seismic upheaval seems to have intimidated some of the usually aggressive local fauna, particularly in conjunction with the sheer numbers of the lengthy train of refugees and their rebel guides. The few times a salamander or great ash toad makes an approach, your own combat prowess isn't even needed. Torches, shouting, and intimidation are generally enough to drive the animals back. What is needed, however, is your flatback companion. The enormous crab is piled high with supplies, mostly food, but medical supplies, potions, bandages, so on as well. And you've been requested to keep your progress to half-day marches so that rations can be distributed to the refugees. It's meant an easy pace, with plenty of time to heal up after your brush with catastrophe. Healing magic can close wounds, but the aches of injury still only fade with time. But it has also meant that you're some of the last people to approach Naslien proper, with the journey taking a solid, if uneventful, week. You're very nearly there now. You're with a group towards the rear of the refugee column, mostly consisting of the injured or elderly and their families, and you've finally set foot on the remnants of the old road that once stretched between Airgead and Naslien. The burnt mud wastes have begun to give way to shrubs and grass, and young trees stand in the shadow of burnt ones. Ahead, you see a smooth bridge of shaped stone, conjured over a century ago and still standing across the river. Like lamps have been hung on it, likely recently to guide refugees in, and you can see both the actual town of Naslien and a rather sprawling tent city outside it. One moment. While I pull up this map, why don't you say what you guys all were doing during the trip? You've had about 7 days to rest, recover, and get rained on while moving in tandem with the column and making sure that people fleeing Airgead have enough to eat and enough medical supplies and what have you.
With our system transition, we've done some gear swap overs and so on, and some of us have lost quite a lot of funds, which I'm fine with. Can I claim that Bayleaf has just actually been handing, golders out to those that she's fine, sort of fled without managing to grab anything of their own?
All right, yeah, absolutely. You've been sort of moving around, helping people where you can.
Yeah.
Making sure that everyone has at least a little bit of pocket money to get settled in. Because a lot of these people, they've lost basically everything. They've got whatever they could fit in bags before fleeing. The town was evacuated in a matter of hours, and that didn't leave a lot of time for...
I think Crom is going to do that as well, pass out whatever funds, the spare funds he had. Justicia doesn't like it, but when the others start doing it, she doesn't want to look to be the bad
Shame
guy.
her into being good.
Everybody's already on her case for being an Imperial. Crom just gives her a look until she starts doing it. It's just over his shoulder, then above the crowd, he just constantly looks at Justicia.
Somehow I now have a gun that I'm practicing.
I pretty much imagine how we got our new gear is we kind of just grabbed things or traded with the refugees. Like, who's gonna use a clockwork grapple gun now?
anyone. This is a dangerous trek through the wilds.
Well, I bought it, so it's mine now.
Anyway, Maker have been splitting his attention between rebuilding a bunch of his ancillary parts, let's call them, and just setting up his laboratory on top of the crab and distributing potions to people. But technically, they're not potions anymore. They're now, what are they called in this system?
Potions.
No, mineral elixirs of life. They scale better than potions, but they're more expensive later on.
Everyone keeps calling them potions, and Maker has yet to have any of his corrections stick.
He's also replaced his fire cannon with an ice cannon.
Justicia has not replaced her legs. They continue to be blades. And it's just been awful walking through this ash. The tips are finally starting to dull on her sword legs, so it might be safe to walk indoors and not destroy all the floors. Oh wait, no, I bought sheaths. She can actually put on sheaths now.
Yes.
I have to throw a wrench at Chat. Maker is not an alchemist, he's an inventor. He just has the feat to craft.
He just has potion recipes.
Yeah.
The main difference between an alchemist and an inventor is that inventors don't know how to budget properly and have to pay for all the stuff they build.
But it lasts more than a day.
Yes, it does.
Listen, Maker is seeking a grant. Okay.
He has to keep correcting people about that too. No, I am an inventor, not an alchemist.
Wow, thank you, Mr. Wizard. No.
He's actually also a wizard.
Oh.
That's correct, but alchemist, no.
I will take wizard, I will take inventor. One of these is slightly more accurate. But alchemist is right out. All right. And with that, you arrive in Naslien town. Or you nearly arrive anyway. As you approach, you notice there is someone standing at like one end of the bridge who is sort of like chatting with some of the refugees arriving, directing them to the refugee camp, which seems to have been set up outside the city's like fields and agricultural areas. And it is a tabaxi boy that you recognize. Soot black fur, kind of jittery demeanor, but this is Kieran, who you first met attempting to salvage the crab that you are now riding. And he appears to recognize you as you approach. It is fairly difficult not to, considering both you and your crab friend are pretty distinctive. Again, especially Crom, who is large and not a local species at all.
These are impression people.
So this sort of this excitable, like mid-late teens cat boy. He rushes up. He kind of like gives like an excited wave of like, hello again. I knew you were coming. I was told to welcome you once you arrived and direct you to what was it? Okay, direct you to where he lowers his voice a little, where some of our allies are meeting. You are here from to report in, right? Everything go well on the trail?
Justicia is honestly surprised this boy is still alive.
Yes, everything went fine.
How about on your part? Things went well?
Oh, as well as a trip through the wilderness where you carry all of your worldly possessions on your back can go, yes. But you know what? What's no longer having a house when You have freedom, right? I think
Hey,
that's pretty.
Look at it like this. You may have lost your house, but you are gaining back a home for your people.
I know. Yes, exactly. That's something that Neil said to us.
It's this year from behind. This boy just makes just grimaces at the sentiments.
And oh wow, you're Mr. Stisha, aren't you? You're the one who was leading that operation. I hadn't even
What?
heard of that. And
What?
you
Either.
Maker makes an expression.
I
Despite not
heard
having
I
a
heard your
face.
announcement. It was really inspiring.
Oh, right.
A lot of people are looking up to you. I'm so glad you're
Oh, no.
here.
I mean, look at it. The atrocities of the Imperials are so bad that even some of their own can't stomach it anymore.
Exactly, right?
Huh.
Well,
Yes, of course. That was exactly what I intended.
I shouldn't keep you here for much longer. But it's an honor to meet you again. Good luck. He gives a wave and sort of.
Thank you. And she's going to put her hand on his shoulder and goes, and thanks for helping set us on this path.
Oh wow, thank you. He looks like he's about to like tremble into like little individual cat pieces from.
Smiles, got a head fast, then give a grin at the others.
You hear him like muttering about how cool you are as you cross the bridge. He's just like, wow, heroes of the rebellion.
Our cover is going to get so blown by this guy.
Now, baby Zill's going to go, guys, we're heroes of the rebellion.
I have
They'll
my
happy
questions,
defeat.
but you may bask in the.
The glory, the
Sure.
infamy,
Sure, call
the
it that.
sheer awesomeness of what we're doing.
The consequences of our actions
That
have
doesn't
not
ever
yet
catch
caught
up.
up with us.
We're just going to keep moving forward and they will never get us. We're heroes. We're immortal.
Well, I'm still working on that last part.
Of course you are.
There's never been a story about heroes in which the hero did anything other than survive. This is not.
Bayleaf, a week after getting nearly killed with a sledgehammer, has forgotten about immortality entirely.
Some people learn lessons. We call them cowards. Anyway, you cross the bridge. It's a long bridge, long arcing, very like elegant. One of those cases of just like shaping solid stone into an arch. You see like colorful boats occasionally pass underneath it, fishing out of the river. You can see water mills grinding the grain that this town is known for. See some dockyards like managing the ships. Naslien, more than anything, is an agricultural town. It produces food, and most of like insofar as it has a dedicated economy, it largely ships food down to Uami. The temple city has its own food stores, but when you've got a population that large and that dense, you need some satellite farming settlements. You can see the town proper has a outer wall of stone, maybe like about 12 feet high, raised, not quite thick enough for proper battlements, but there's little towers along the back side of it where you can see people stand up and patrol. Relatively few proper Imperial guards, especially compared to Airgead, where they were everywhere, and a lot of refugees. There's just like crowds everywhere. kind of like filling the streets, moving between tents as you move into this sort of like makeshift outside the walls settlement, where some of these buildings appear to have been standing here for quite some time. They're dedicated to agriculture, but mostly these appear to be propped up very recently as a result of the influx of hundreds of refugees into a town that was honestly never more than a few thousand people in population to begin with. And you have some options from here. You know that should you want to report to them, the rebel leadership is in the refugee camp. You've been given directions to find them. You could also go into the city and sniff about here.
It's probably best we make our presence known to the rebels, even if we're going to head off into town.
Yeah, we'll stop in with them first. We were the back guard, so now that we're here, all the caravans that were heading in this direction should be here.
Hopefully. Nice.
Yeah.
Agreeable.
As far as you can tell, the last significant groups of stragglers are either with you or they're taking the safer path south. The rebel guides have mostly withdrawn from the eastern route at this point. So you go and you sort of move into the tent city, the refugee camp. A lot of people trying to make like this situation that they're in a little bit more homey. You see people like spreading out, trying to spread like whatever it is that they salvaged from home, whatever they thought was important, and set them up in little dwelling places. You've got a lot of tents that are holding like 2 or 3 families, like pretty big spacious tents that people have cobbled together, like, this person brought some silverware, this person brought a rug. There seems to be food, a lot of people with like cook pots and bowls of rice and fish that seem to be probably being supplied by the nearby town, because the supplies you brought with you aren't really lasting. These were probably intended to be exports at one point, and they're getting redirected to the camp. But you find your way to a smallish tent with just a few people in it. There's no sign of this being like a rebel base. There's no like maps up. There's no like
that's good.
There's no maps up. There's no whatchamacallums.
Rebel flag flying high.
Yeah, there's no flags. There's no
sign saying "target us."
Yes. There are a few people with like weapons on their hip, though. That's not like terribly unusual. These people were just hiking through the wilderness, so anyone who has like a spare crossbow or a long knife or whatever, they tend to have them equipped just for personal safety. But these are slightly better weapons. You actually recognize 1 or 2 of them as some of the ones that you stole from the manufacturing place. Acquired. Okay, yes, fair.
I think it's important to point out, I do not appear to be carrying a physical weapon. I have a magical ring that makes it illusionary disguised.
Yes, that was given to you. Like, with you handing out, like, the pieces of gold, that was given to you by this old, very old, like, fighter. Someone who, back in the day, like, regretted not doing more to sort of, like, try to stick it to the Empire. And they're like, it's like 20 years past my time, but I do have this, like, sweet ring that I had made back when I was fantasizing about like stabbing a console or something like that.
Bailey would thank them for that and also be like, it's never too late. It's never past your time, even if you help in small ways.
Now, no, don't give the refugees any ideas. See, Crom comes from behind, picks her up by the back of her shirt, and just pulls her away.
4 little furrows in the mud behind her as she's just dragged along. So, but what are here dressed in like, I hesitate to say casual clothes because these aren't like sweatpants, but just
Yeah.
just the usual
Fantasy casual.
day-to-day attire of like similar outfits to like the rest of the refugees.
Peasant garb.
Peasant garb, yes. Tunics, trousers, that kind of thing. You do find Neal, his partner, isn't visible, but you know that the two of them never have that much distance between them. And he appears to be like wrapping up a short talk with an elder, sort of like an elderly human who seems to be like leaving and starting to head back into the town proper before Neal notices you and like waves you in like energetically, like, you guys, heroes of the hour, from what I hear.
Your saviors have arrived.
Yeah, about that. We're gonna have to talk, Miss Volhentius.
Ventilis.
Ventilis. Listen, people are pronouncing it 3 different ways, and the fact that they're saying it at all is a problem for us. We'll get to that, though. We'll get to that.
First, can I ask, how'd it go on your end? Like, not too many losses, I'm hoping?
Well, we've got good and bad news. Bad news is we lost a quarter of our members.
Shit.
The good news, is so far as we can say this, is we've gained back that number tenfold in the days since. 2 other smaller rebel groups have already met with us and merged back in, and quite a few of the refugees seem interested, at least. Heard a lot of talk, a lot of support. We're trying not to grow too fast, but we're in an unusual position here. This town, come on in. Listen, I'm rambling. Come on in, sit down. He gestures, like they've got a rug set up. They've got some, like, cushions. Got a few
Lady, go ahead and
crates.
become own chair.
This cleans off the sheath on her legs so that way she doesn't track any mud on the carpets.
Yeah, it's not like a
Kink.
fancy rug, just sort of like a thick one, big, thick, fluffy rug. Looks like it was probably at one point the hide of some big animal. So, here's where we're at. Naslien, this town it's a lot smaller than Airgead. They've got 2 sentries garrisoned here. That's 120 thralls, some 80 support personnel. Look, if we counted everyone we had, we technically outnumber them now, and I think they know it. They don't know who exactly the rebels are, but it's been hard to hide this general tide of sympathy towards our cause. It's not just in our people, too. There's a lot of general support in the Naslien town proper. It's complicated. Not everyone agrees with us, but a lot of those less inclined to trust us headed south in the first place. The only ones who followed our guides were the ones who are at the very least willing to give the Liberation Front the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. So, we're at a little bit of a standoff. We obviously can't reveal ourselves and take the town. Right now, the garrison is making entreaties to every surrounding settlement for reinforcements, especially Uami. but every other small town in the area is doing the same. They're all being swamped with refugees, and they all feel like they need additional troops from the temple cities.
Sounds like the perfect time to actually get to town.
Problem is, if we actually make a move, then suddenly there's an obvious destination to send those reinforcements. Right now, they're spreading thin, and they genuinely don't have the troops to answer every reply. It's hard to say. There's a lot of debate right now between whether we should move quickly and seize the opportunity, or try to use the chaos that we've created to advance our cause in other ways. It's something that I doubt we're going to resolve tonight or tomorrow.
It spread
Hopefully
your people
soon.
out.
My recommendation would be to ambush and harry the reinforcements en route and not touch the cities for the time being.
Not a bad idea.
And you got time to move your people through the lands, get to different towns, maybe arrange for a coordinated strike.
Right. We still need to get in contact with some of the northern cells, see what their status is. A few of the ones who haven't joined up with us yet are still rather... Let's just say they're not happy that we're forcing their hand.
If you want, we have no real plans to settle. We could carry word up for you.
We were planning on heading north.
You can send these other groups the message that their hand need not be forced. Destroying Airgead was not a movement. Destroying Airgead has riled the Empire, but you do not have you are not in a position to retake Part 2 just yet. You need to harry them further.
Harry them, wear them down.
Those cells gotta know. Those cells gotta know that Ness is waking up through her people, and the land is gonna be reclaimed.
Exactly. In time. Like Marin says, we need to weaken the enemy further, and we need to get the people on our side properly. Whispers aren't enough. We need organized power structures on our side. We're going to be meeting with some of the local elders over the course of the next few days. That was one of them. You saw right there. If we can start getting organized networks of resistance up, then we'll be very much in a better place. For now, though, why don't you tell me exactly what happened up there?
Oh, you see.
Actually, not from you.
Oh.
Listen.
Crumb's got the most honest tongue out of all of us. If you want to hear it, best be from him.
Crom, what happened up there? That, were you party to this announcement that our Imperial friend here made?
I honestly, I don't know what she's going to do half the time. That was just another one of her spontaneous ventures.
She took over the speaker systems while Crom and I were setting up the detonation.
It went pretty well. Otherwise, the machine got working. We prevented anyone from reaching it, and we escaped safely. The little announcement was something I certainly wasn't expecting.
I see. He just sort of turns his gaze to Destisha.
He kind of bites her lip.
Let me ask you something.
All right.
Do you know what the name Volantius means in Part 2?
Galantalis, and no. Not in part 2. I know what it means in Airgead, which is not a whole lot.
They were a circle of scholars a long time ago. Long before the occupation. They did some of the early research into the area around Nessus and her temple. I honestly did not know most of this myself. Your name didn't ring a bell. It wasn't until some of the priestesses in our ranks came to me and started talking about old history that I realized that name means something to people who went to temple more avidly than I did. And you know, what you've done now is you've created this whole hubbub about Lady Valentillis appearing from the ether, from the pages of history, to aid us. And what am I supposed to tell people who are asking me about this supposedly mythic hero? And instead we've got you. Do you even...
She puts her hands on her head.
I can't even pretend it's not you. Enough people saw you at the hideout with your stupid blue... Is that even natural hair? Never mind.
Yes, I am a natural brunette. Thank you very much.
Can I do a history or religion check or something?
Yes.
Wait, history's not a thing in this.
History would be society in this system.
Okay.
Society, yes.
Okay.
Religion
society.
also works. These are primarily religious stories.
They're both the same, so I'll just... Boop. Nope, it doesn't ring a bell.
Bayleaf did not. Bayleaf went to
Bayleaf is
temple
not
about
the
as
most
much as
educated.
Neon did.
Yeah.
Which is to say that she knows the popular sermons, but
Sing you a
she
song.
found it more inspiring than like
Educational.
enlightening.
Let me try. Oh gods.
It's some local superstition related to their...
That's actually critical failure, which is
That's
important
another
in this
one.
system.
Oh, it is true.
Like, critical failures actually do things now.
It's all Maker knows about the name is that it's some like insipid superstition. He honestly could not care less about it.
Well,
It's-
that's his feelings about most.
Gets it so wrong, he starts bleeding.
I'm sorry, you can't take damage by failing a knowledge check. No.
I think what you're supposed to do is give him the wrong information he thinks is true.
Is that
Wrong information, man. I'm gonna have to start preparing wrong information now.
Yeah, listen, Pathfinder 2E is wonderful. It's really cool, but it does require a bit more work.
All right, wrong information.
Well, time to do what I do and just make things up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
incorrect. It can
say-
be utter runt nonsense.
Like, Maker remembers a story that is about, like... Look, as far as Maker can remember, Valentillis is basically Cupid. It's like a love god. Like a love saint. Involved in romance in some form or fashion. It's,
We should every time someone gets a natural 1 on knowledge, one of us have to make up the wrong information. Whatever comes to the top of our heads, just tell
That's a
them.
better way to handle it.
that should help so.
I like that idea. That's a fun
Perfect,
one.
actually.
I think I'll implement that in the future. That is very good. Gold
But
star.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that right now anyway. If her presence troubles you, so you could just tell them that she's one of the saint's many descendants. I am taken to believe it was what's the word? What's the mortal word? A prolific.
Maker just gets like the blankest stare anyone has ever given. Like somehow he has like no face, And yet he is emoting harder than Niall is. He's just like,
It-
no, that's not correct. I'm sorry.
It's not.
Listen, Lakamaran, I don't know what they teach you over there, but no, that's wrong.
Even Justicia is giving him somewhat of a look.
Yeah, imagine not knowing the name Philanthropus.
Philanthropus.
Why don't you enlighten our friend here? Because the rest of us all, obviously know.
Like I said, they were.
I've never heard Valentilus in my life.
That's because you're uncultured.
They were researchers. Not a group of them. Not all of them were clerics, but a number of Nessus's first priests were involved in the order. If you look at the temple that we now call her tomb, that was built by them.
You saying that her ancestors were part of natives?
I sincerely doubt it. You just...
No.
I do want to know where you picked that name up, though.
Well, as you might be able to tell, I am a magnificently studious individual.
Get on with it.
I read it in a book, okay?
Wait,
My favorite books.
that's not your that's not your name? You can just do that.
My name now. Clan Valantilus. Members, me.
I was thinking that you had like a mummy Philantius and a daddy Philantius. And...
Oh, no. I was kicked out of that family. I'm not allowed to use that clan name anymore.
I suppose that figures.
Sounds reasonable.
So when we came here to the shores of Partu, I decided, hey, new life, time for a new clan. There are spots open for anyone who wants to join Clan Valantilus.
No.
Huh?
Already
What about you?
have a clan. She looks at Bayleaf.
Yeah, I like. No, thank you.
When she said yeah, her face lights up. No, thank you. Her face goes down.
Well,
But I mean, you could take it as a sign
Sign of what?
that
That
there's a greater will at work here.
clan?
That you're a cult leader now.
Oh, come on! What's the chances that some Imperial washed ashore is going to pick up a name of importance like that off the top of their head, not knowing what it is?
I know what it is.
Significant.
Well, I don't know what it is here in Part, but I know what it is in Aridin.
humor me. What is it in Aridin? First time I've ever cared about how they do things in that godforsaken land.
All right. So, as you might have guessed, I'm an especially studious.
Get on with it.
Growing up in, my family comes from a family of scholars. My father runs a big part of one of the academies, and so I grew up with a lot of books. One of my favorites is the
She just starts kind of twiddling her fingers.
book well, you see,
Right.
it's not very popular over there in Aridin. It's the
Looking for what I called it.
The classic character hesitating and stammering as the player checks the notes.
Uh-huh. Continue.
Delaying tactics.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Are you worried
It is-
about sharing some
There it is.
manner of smut?
no. There was a lot of that there, but no. The Follies of Valantilus. It was the story, a compilation of stories of a researcher and adventurer named the titular character, and well, I really liked the book, and it had a lot of really weird stuff in it, and it was exciting and interesting and so not washed with patriotism for Eridan. It was, but it's over there. It's mostly a kid's, less than a kid's tale. You're not really. You kind of don't tell people you read it because it's meant to teach kids about not taking advantage of your strengths, and instead of it's hard to explain without the book.
You read it?
I had it memorized, but it's hard to get the wonderfulness.
Look, I'm not asking for a book report here. I get the idea. I get the idea, but that does not change the fact that now there's a whole lot of people with a vague approximation of what you look like, and much too good an idea of what you sound like, and the idea that you are some kind of icon of Neskal liberation, when you are just someone who likes some weird Imperial book. Do you even know anything about Nessus? You're not even a member of the faith.
A member of the faith to like Valantilus,
And
or
to
be
be
inspired
fair,
by him.
the first people when Nessus arrived weren't the people of the faith, but they became her first. You know, something to the
That's
faithless being
fair.
guided onto a path. Either way, you can
Fair.
spin this.
We can. And we need someone to make sure that Miss Valantilus here
Valantilus.
cooperates.
That's going to be a
I
fun.
think we're reaching one of the running jokes of the campaign now.
He reaches into a pocket and he produces this little metal pin. Appears to be made of like iron. Looks like it's like a wrought flower of some sort. And he just kind of like tosses it to Bayleaf. Hey, you.
Yeah,
Bayleaf it was, right? Catch.
yeah. She'll try and catch.
Yeah, you pull it off. It's lobbed pretty casually.
What's this in?
That is something I've been making with our numbers growing so quickly. We're going to need some kind of organization, and that means lieutenants. As far as I'm concerned, you're one of those. Your primary job is keeping our Imperial convert friend here managed. Can you do that?
Sir, yes, sir.
What? How dare you? How can you?
It means keeping
say-
you alive as well.
Well, that part I like, but putting me under lock and key. You're a liberation front.
Yeah, and you're a loud moron.
Moron.
Oh, she stands up to this.
I'm sure he says it with all affection. But he says
Oh,
putting
yes.
an arm around Justicia.
All affection. Listen. What we need to do is make sure that if anyone comes to you inspired, filled with joy and hope for the future of Partu, that you don't immediately come off as a clueless Imperial idiot. You need a crash course in what it means to be Partuvian. And as far as I'm concerned, no one is better for that job than a local. You think you can handle that, kid?
I can certainly give them the culture, but if you want more specifics on history, I might need some books.
Those we can provide. And that pin, at least with the groups that we've made contact with, should get you some cooperation from other resistance groups, from priests in hiding, that kind of thing. If you want to visit a local center of what remains of Niscali faith, there's a nursery in town. The child gardens are some of the places where the priests of Nessus, they've evaded the Empire's watch for quite some time. Mostly by doing what they've always done. I expect you were raised around some of them.
She nods. What places?
That in mind, here. I can get you... Here, he marks it, starts like... He takes a stick and kind of reaches into the mud and starts sketching out a vague outline of the town. There's a few things that we can get for you. Here's a tailor. This should get you out of whatever rags you all are still clinging to and get you properly attired and presentable. Image does matter, much as I sometimes wish it didn't. And here, this should get you some healing elixirs. We've discussed this with the local physician, and while most of their supplies are going towards our own stockpiles, they can spare a few for our traveling scout groups. You're essentially one of those if you're heading north. We aren't exactly in the best place with regards to Galders at this point, but other than that, get yourself cleaned up, get yourself some kind of presentation that won't embarrass us and hopefully won't get you arrested the second you walk into a settlement.
I don't know. As soon as I came into this place, apparently I'm on parole.
Do not think of Bailiff's new position as your jailer. Think of her as...
A babysitter.
I was going to try to be more... to say something that might make her happier with the new position.
It's
Any
the
guide.
truth.
No, not guide. What do you call a person who helps?
An assistant?
Secretary?
That is not.
A butler?
Try to think of her as a...
An agent?
Maid?
Yes, an agent. An agent is good. You are a celebrity now among these people.
No, we're not having that. I'd much prefer if we kept on the down low while we're attracting Imperial ire, so I think I have an idea. It's going to take me a couple of days.
Not telling her to act like a celebrity. I'm trying
I
to...
know, but I think I have an idea on how we can keep ourselves from immediately being attacked by thralls.
And that helps people.
It's going to take me a couple days. For her, at least. I'll be able to disguise her properly, but I'll need some materials and a workspace.
That we can get you. We've got people in town. Just tell us what you need, and we'll work with you. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of appreciation for what you pulled off back in Airgead. It's set the spark to all this.
But we are still relative strangers.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, all we did was
Understandable.
blow up a volcano. Nothing big.
And to be fair, we were planning on wreaking havoc in that town anyway.
I can get behind that sentiment. At any rate, I'm here if you need anything. If I'm not here, then I'm somewhere in this camp. You ought to be able to find me.
We'll stick around town a few days at least. If you need us for something,
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's risky, but if you get a chance, it might be worth dropping by and seeing what's going on in the Imperial garrison. They might have an eye for mercenaries, and most of you do stand out.
Get
Not
another
to do
clock,
any
she says,
work.
elbowing Justicia.
That might be a good idea.
We should leave that to Chrome.
Crom's not a good thief.
Yeah. What's he gonna do with a clock?
What?
Oh, he's not in on the joke.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
It's before his time.
It had to be there.
I
Yeah.
demand an explanation.
So, to the tailors?
Off you
Actually,
go.
I think, where am I going to get those books? Want me to come back for them or something?
Go to
Let
the
me see.
physician for a. I'll go to the physician for a few formulas to add to my my databanks.
Oh, and how are you running these pins? Are these secret flashies or like, one identification?
What?
Oh, the pins. For now, there should be no difficulty wearing them. They're quite new, and I seriously doubt that the Imperials have any kind of idea what they mean.
I
at this
figure we'll
point.
probably know when they've had them made, huh?
Yeah. Once we start getting a little bigger, it might be best to be a little more discreet with the things. But for now, I admit I'm getting a kick out of wearing them in the open.
Like rubbing it under their noses without them knowing.
Anyway, as for the books, will you be dropping by the garden or not? I can have them sent here or there.
Yeah, we'll check by there.
All right. They should have most of the tomes of Niskel Doctrine pretty much on hand. Or at the very least, the priests there will know where they're hidden. So, best of luck to you.
And to you.
Right. Talk to you again.
Talk to you again. Hopefully, under a part 2, very slightly closer to proper liberation. Let's go. He waves you out, and you are free to head out into the town.
Heading on out.
I am ready to get rid of this peasant garb.
Yeah, tailors, I would really like to be wearing some better clothing.
The town's gates, they are manned by like soldiers and thralls. These are largely troops of the like drafted from local populace type, and there's a lot of movement through these gates that seems to be like very poorly being tracked very poorly. You're able to like slip by with a small gaggle of like other people basically without being questioned. A little bit unnerving to walk past like the rows of inactive thralls just kind of like waiting orders near the gates, but it seems there's like no real effort being made to like maintain a secure border of the settlement at the moment. Probably because there couldn't be. There's a lot of people like living in the town, moving out and back in, bringing
It's an
food,
agricultural
bringing
settlement.
supplies. Yeah. Even when it wasn't an agricultural settlement, even if it wasn't, there's like a ton of just people bringing like various like supplies to help the refugees settle in, and there's kind of a constant stream of.
I had a question. The Ness prefix on this town's name,
Yes.
is there any significance to that?
There is. It is just the name of the river, however, which itself
okay.
is named for the goddess. A lot of things like are tied to that.
It's one of those common nomenclatures.
It's very common nomenclature. The term ness just it roughly translates to life or alive. You see it a lot in like any kind of ness. They like translate. You see them a lot in like agricultural towns, like any town which is pretty heavily invested in.
We'll have a ness of some sort, be it river, forest.
Yeah, it's very, very commonplace. The Nisgal faith was ubiquitous and deeply ingrained in like almost every facet of life in Part 2 before the occupation.
Right, milady, first act of guiding. You might not want to use your Phalantilus. Pronounce it again. Phalantilus name with the Imperials now.
Spread my magnificence then. The magnificence of my clan.
That's the neat part. You don't.
You bring out that magnificence to the Imperials when we're in a bit of a better position to have, some power against them.
Fine. I guess I'll use my cognonym.
I don't know what that word means, but if you want to be cognonym, sure, Lady Cognonym.
It's part of the three name structure. The third, it's the third part of the names. And mine currently is Vindrix, and it's
She starts going into a long explanation on
Third
the
part.
nomenclature.
What do you mean, like syllables?
name types, titles, and sections of name.
You got a name and a family name.
Yeah.
No, that's what there is.
No, the given name, the clan name, and the what I said before that the player playing can't remember.
I guess some people use where they're from as part of the name as well, but
I was going to choose to ignore this conversation and head towards the tailor.
following behind, just chatting away about names.
You head in, you find there is actually a pretty sprawling, tailoring guild. There's quite a, there appears to be quite a few, people working here. It's largely outdoors. There's large, basins of dye, just kind of, open and simmering lightly. Likely kept outdoors in order to avoid, choking people inside with the various fumes they give off. A lot of them are being made with, herbs and flowers and whatever, so there's, a real strong floral scent as you move in here. The constant rain is kept at bay by, a sturdy canvas awning over the whole area, giving kind of the impression of a outdoor market area. And as you arrive, you are quickly approached by this old spider folk. Big, very neatly trimmed, very angular beard, tiny dark glasses. He gets very up close to you very quickly, just you. I was told to expect. Yes. Tall fellow, large proportions, very large. Servitor, fine, yes. Many arms. He's sort of just ums and ums to himself, quickly kind of walking in figure eight patterns and circles around different members of your group, what do we need?
Pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm Baby.
Oh yes, pardon. I get carried away when I am presented with an interesting challenge. Oren Bale, local tailor, head of this particular collective. I confess this is a refreshing challenge. Very interesting. You see, good change of pace from yet another work gown or temple shawl for latest child graduating. You know what I mean. It's
you get to be a bit creative, huh?
bit creative, yes, to say the least. Might I ask if we're speaking of clothes, if we're speaking of attire, your own opinion does matter some. It's not the only thing that matters. People have a lot of bad opinions, but I will hear you out.
Myself, a little bit of colour be nice, and I like loose fabrics, sleeves, long,
Bit of color,
something a bit showy.
sleeves, something. Going to require water repellent, obviously. You're travelers, I'm informed. Travelers, yes.
Yeah, hardy would be nice.
Hardy, sturdy, very good. Able to be kept in one piece, but with a hint of grace, a hint of air. We're not all earth and water in Partu, regardless of what some might say. Yes, I think I've got something in mind. We can put that together. Accentuate your best features. Minimal accessories we can put on here. What about you? Tall fellow, strong, northern stock, I take it?
Yes. I was kind of hoping you'd be able to create something Goriza esque, something. I prefer something that that'll just fit and work nicely, is something practical.
I can't say I've ever heard the work of a Horizon fashionista, so you'll have to walk me through it. I refuse to send you out in a sturdy sack, however. I have been asked to provide attire for you, and I have a certain degree of pride that I will not compromise.
All right, I can write you up something in the meantime.
And
Basic guide.
And, pardon, construct fellow, you are, I'm informed, a person, yes? Lekmarin?
Correct. I am trying to pass mostly unseen, so give me your best disguise.
I see. Cloak, face mask, perhaps, something simple. Maybe in the style of a hunter, yes, a ranger, perhaps. A prop bow.
I do feel like mentioning that Maker's physical stats at this point are so dreadful because of his build that he's probably actually riding his new companion everywhere.
Wait, he's so weak he
just-
can't stand up? How?
No, it's not that. It's just that he's kind of slow. He moves like 20 feet.
You know, that is slow.
C-3PO's about.
He just moseys everywhere. He will not and cannot hurry.
So he's probably been just connected to this giant lobster thing that he's built all the time.
Where the hell did that come from?
I built it.
Was that always here?
And I'm sorry. The small mechanical crab, is that also a Lekmarin? Will it need?
It is an ancillary piece of meat. It's also not small. It's like the size of Chrome.
Wait, you brought it into the? You brought that into the tailoring shop?
Probably.
And
like I said,
this is the first time Crom's turning around and going, "Where'd that come from?"
I know, right?
As
These
big
people
as
would notice
Crom.
something like that.
the shit. If you look at the sheets, you'll notice it's there.
We can't see your sheets.
In fact, Sal, pull a token over.
We can't see
Okay, it's
each
not
other's.
this big. Give me a second.
Oh God!
That is slightly larger than Crom.
It's large, just like him.
So you're basically bringing a horse into tailoring.
How fast are you?
Me?
Yes.
20 feet. Because I'm wearing heavy armor.
Yeah, everyone who wears
Okay.
heavy armor is 20 feet.
Okay.
Yeah,
then actually I
the
can
movement
just-
speeds in this system are actually just lower than basic 5e.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Then Makers probably live in that the construct up with the refuges.
Yeah.
Because
It's with
I
the
hope
crab.
so.
It's with the crab being taken care of. You've got
We're trying to go incognito, and you're bringing a giant robot crab into town.
I like to imagine that
No,
because of these movement speeds, Bailey's getting constantly frustrated and having to hop back.
Pretty
How
much.
fast are you?
That was the.
yeah,
How
Bailey's
fast is
can
Bailey?
literally go
40
in
feet.
I'm 35, so at least I'm sort of keeping up with you.
Yeah.
She just keeps going 30 feet forward, 10 feet back.
Me and Distucia keep going forwards and then having to pause, have a little conversation while people catch up.
The crab actually moves 40.
You're not bringing it into the tailoring
Fair enough.
store.
It's
Yeah.
not necessary, as it
The-
turns out.
the construct crab hangs out with your real crab. They are very quickly making friends with one another. Kieran was put in charge of taking care of your crab, and he doesn't really know who this metal crab is or how to take care of it, so he's been like trying to like feed it little like bits of metal. Like
Realistically, it's just a piece
I'm
of making
echoing through
himself.
someone as well. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Draken.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yes,
me-
I think I'm echoing through you again.
Let me lower my sensibility.
All right.
Ba, 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 ba. Say something.
Okay.
Some-
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
just
fixed.
Yeah. looks
no,
like it.
it's
it's
you still came through slightly. Also be
Ash.
aware if you don't talk, a lot of things will like gradually become more sensitive. That's just how microphones tend to go.
I see
And then
that.
echoing begins again.
Interesting.
I'm going to remove Discord's automatic sensibility input. So how is it now?
All right. Testing.
Fine.
Testing.
Okay,
I'm
that sounds
not-
better.
Yeah, this sounds better.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Back
nope,
to the tailor,
there-
where we
there
have
are.
resolved that we are
Good.
not, in fact, being jump scared by a giant mechanical lobster. Yeah, I'm definitely
It's
getting
worse
bleed
now.
over again. Yeah.
Are you using headphones?
I am.
Oh,
Should I make the sensibility low or high in this case?
low.
Let's make it lower.
Yeah.
70.
You want it so that your speaking input is only just going over bar sensitivity.
I see.
All right. Testing.
No, I think I'm making it worse.
How strange. It was fine earlier. I guess it's just, yeah.
Try it now.
Okay. Is this working? Are we getting bleed over? Are we getting...
That seems to be better.
okay.
That
Yeah,
seems
it's
to be
better
better.
now.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
lowering the bar, but apparently I need to raise it.
Okay.
All right.
Technology.
Making it
Technology
more
indeed.
sensitive. I was making it more sensitive rather than less.
So, we're back to the tailor, where we resolved that we are not, in fact, being jump scared by a giant mechanical lobster. Where lastly, the tailor moves on to Distisha of, interesting. Lots of arms. A proper Imperial spider. I don't know if I should be flattered or not. Let's see. We've got...
Trust you know how to work with this much flesh sculpt then.
Oh, yes. Well, obviously, you're hardly the first 6 on Patreon. I make my own outfits like this. He waves his own 6 hands.
Well,
Just-
good. Then we're going. I would like to have something with this.
She starts going as a noble sensibilities, pointing out the different things that she sees on the shelves.
I see.
And
Uh-huh.
This
And this, a little bit of this. Ooh, I want some of this. What do you think about this? This color or this? I'll defer that to you.
Interesting taste. I will take your suggestions into account. Yes. This all might be a bit much for a wilderness garb, but I will work it into something practical. Have no fear, I have plenty of experience. One does not set up shop in Partu without knowing how to make an outfit that can resist the weather. So,
Good.
I'll see what I can have for you.
How much are we gonna owe you?
Oh, nothing. This is act of thanks.
That
for your-
nonsense. Money needs to keep flowing. But that's
By an
hey,
act of thanks, I mean that people who very much appreciate what you are doing have given me gold in advance. I am not an ideologue.
Okay, good.
I broadly support your cause, but
You gotta eat.
I do, in fact, have to eat.
As long
More
as you've been
importantly, I
paid.
have a lot of employees here to pay.
She nods.
Regardless, this is. I understand you likely don't have terribly much gold yourself, and these are very nice outfits that you're
I
making.
think
We
think-
had more.
I gave away a lot more than I thought I did on the travel here.
Yeah,
Pretty easy to like do
That
it in the
kinda
moment, you know.
A fine spirit and a noble compulsion. Let's reward it, shall we? Be back by. How long will you be in town?
A few days at the least.
Very good, very good. Day after tomorrow, I'll say.
Oh, got
We
it.
are a professional outfit here, and we're quite used to making large numbers of outfits on demand.
Well, we'll see you then.
Of course, on your way. He
Yeah.
nods and sort of like bustles off somewhere else in the shop to begin what looks like berating one of the workers over how they've cut a piece of cloth. You aren't sure what they did wrong, but it sounds like they did something fairly egregious.
like a man who knows how to run a shop. He knows quality goods.
Gardens or Garrison?
Let's see. Probably. Do we want to do that before we head out, or are we doing that?
Oh, I suppose we could head over to the physician, huh?
Yeah, because I'm wondering if showing up into
Actually,
A
the Garrison
garrison
with these
dressed up
coats.
as-
Yeah,
as refugees, it's
not
won't
good.
be the best impression.
We'll leave the Garrison until we're closed properly then.
Then people would expect you to steal the clock.
I've never stolen a clock in my life.
That. To the apothecary.
I mean, the gardens are just up the road, though.
Oh, are they?
She just looks down the street.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a big building. Probably the largest, like, non-imperial building in the town. Sort of.
The nursery is just down the street.
Oh, is it?
Just tilts her to the side.
Oh,
Just that on the horizon. Over the tops of the buildings.
The Sisha probably assumed it was like a mansion or a like temple of some sort because it's quite a large building.
whereas Bailiff is used to these being large structures, prominent.
Yeah. Yeah, they are like childcare facilities for an entire town, basically.
Mhm.
So
takes time to raise a
Town of children.
yeah. I forgot it's village. Village is the first word in that. A town. Take. Let's go.
Bailiff's gonna let out a little sigh and goes, I always wish I had more reasons to stick around and, went in and played with children, and sometimes when my parents went off, but, they were always there for me, and I just never really got the chance to be raised like, proper, right?
I could head to the physician while you entertain yourselves. Do you need anything?
Yeah, things that heal me when I'm smashed up with a hammer.
That would be
Do
great.
you need anything specific?
Effective things to heal me when I'm hit with a hammer.
Well, they said they were giving out stuff, so just take what they give you. I don't know what they
Fair enough.
have. You're the alchemist here. You know what's good.
Yeah, we
I
trust you.
suppose.
all right.
Make her separate from.
Time to split the party.
Maker
We do
is
it.
off to the physician, while these three move to the nursery.
So you've learnt my tragic backstory. I had parents that raised me. Um,
How tragic.
Once upon a time, she forgot to tell her parents about the school sports festival, and so she didn't have anything to eat.
yeah. Classic.
Anyway, the you approach the.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
were you?
I just thought it sounded like your
Mic cut out.
So
Oh,
I was
sorry. I was
worried
taking
that
a drink.
Okay.
To
That-
clear my throat. I have. It's very, very cold out. The heat is on high, and that means my throat is drying out very quickly as I speak. So you approach the nursery garden. This is a facility that is. These are all pretty much built in a broadly similar way. They're very wide buildings, 2 floors tall, sort of like a pale white shaped stone exterior. Lots of windows, but the windows are generally high up to let light in without being easy to climb out of, because
Children have a
children
natural inclination to kill
absolutely-
themselves. Yeah.
Yes. Lots of greenery, lots of plants on the outside, lots of flowers. More properly, these places would have like symbols of like Nessus hanging from the wall and what have you, but these days they're blank or they have more generic symbols. A lot of them still keep the colors associated with Nessus, though. Lots of sea green, lots of imagery of water and earth. You head inside. There is like not really like a guard. They're not like armed at the gate, but there is like a minder here, both keeping track of like who's leaving, coming, who's going. There's only a handful of like ways in and out of this building, and you encounter the one there right now. She's this dressed in long, sort of like a long tunic, practical trousers, has a earth brown shawl from one shoulder down to the opposite hip. Colorful markings are kind of like festooned across the shawl. Bayleaf will actually recognize these pretty much immediately as marking this woman as being trained in childcare and midwifery, but lacking kids of her own. She looks a little like wary at your group. You are kind of a rough-looking bunch. Again, especially Crom. I have to add that after like every time people appraise you, because you have an enormous wolf man with you.
This is where we take out the lightsabers, right? I've seen this movie before.
Is there a title that is used in reference to these people?
No.
I can't actually remember whether I took a note of that somewhere. I believe that like for a like a lower mid-rank priestess like this, like sister is like a generally it is
Okay.
It is like a form of like the grand family of
Yeah.
R2 and what have you.
Okay. She smiles almost and goes, sister, we've just been sent over to get some reading material.
Yes, I think I was informed about your coming. Could you explain who you are, what exactly is going on? I was asked to prepare a collection of scrolls and books, but I was not given much in the way of context.
I'm Bayleaf Driver. This is Crom, and this is
Yes,
Hey.
yes, yeah, the
Yeah, you can say that.
This
She was about to say her full title, but
Vindrix. This here Vindrix.
No, this is the situation where you want to use the other name.
Oh, okay. This here Volantilus Vindrix.
Basically, we're working with those of greater faith in these lands. Return it to rightful hands.
I see. She pauses.
Obviously, we don't want to dwell around here too much. Wouldn't want to bring attention this way.
Yes, I see. She pauses and like kind of like casually reaches down to just like catch the shirt collar of like a child who's just trying to like
Turn
run
them
past her.
around.
Yeah, she just like catches this like little like 6-year-old boy by like the scruff of his neck and just kind of like gently like puts her hands on his shoulders, turns him around and like pats him on the back and kind of like nudges him back into the nursery garden.
Throws him across the room.
He seems totally fine with it. No, she does not throw the child across the room. It is not. Why is this? Why is this your go-to? Crom, how do they raise children where you come from?
Correctly.
Well, he's pretty fluffy. Maybe they bounce.
My parents always threw me around. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
How fluffy is Crom right now in the rain? Like, on a day-to-day basis, when he is wet, how fluffy is he? Like, is he still fully fluffy, or is he like wet dog?
I think, after getting out of the ash fields, I feel like he would have been an electrical hazard. But I think that's a good question. If he doesn't have like a hood on, he probably looks scary, horrible.
like Vicar Amelia.
It's basically a really fluffed up Tibetan Mastiff, right?
Kind of.
That's why he's large. It's all fluff.
That's why,
Well, at
he,
his
that's why he
time,
doesn't get extra reach from being large. He's
Yeah.
It's just fluff.
He's just fluff.
Thankfully, in this orphanage, I've at least child-proofed my legs.
Yeah,
Child
real
resistance.
good.
They've got sheets on.
But
Now I can properly step on without cutting them.
Here's your books.
how much do we owe your sister?
From what's been explained, look, we have additional copies of these. Those of us who are keeping the faith know most of this by heart. If you're spreading it, that'll be payment. Take these. She seems to have prepared like a small, like discreet little cloth satchel, waterproofed, carefully fastened up and sealed so that the rain won't get into it, and just like offers it to Bayleaf.
Thank you, sister.
A lot of these aren't books that you'll make any Imperial friends carrying around, so do be careful with them. But,
I think the Imperials are already going to have greater reason to dislike us than these books, so...
don't they all?
Wait, care and discretion are our middle names.
I get that
That's
impression.
my middle name.
Yes.
Is there anything we can do to help you?
Not unless you're interested in volunteering for some very arduous physical labor for several hours at a time.
You are correct.
We're
I
always-
am not.
We're always understaffed, but if you're looking to learn about the precepts of Nessus, there's few ways better than to act on the front lines of care for her people, as it were.
You heard her.
Maybe I'll
Yes.
stop by.
You
Bring
heard
your
her, Miss
friend.
Hero.
She does apparently have, as she says, child-proofed legs. I expect that the kids will find them quite amusing. They
love you,
are-
Crom. You're a big fluffy boy.
Normally I wouldn't care, but I have to
Oh, what?
make
You got
something.
something more important to do than
Yes.
help poor, sick children?
Yes, it involves you not getting shot at first sight.
That is pretty important.
Okay,
You're
sister.
excused.
We'll get out of your hair. Might be back later.
Of course. If you return, most of the caretakers here are. We're largely aligned in our beliefs, but if you need, I am Sister Lisha. Ask for me if you aren't sure.
Bailiff will give her a little bow.
Best luck with
Is
you.
he a Kurt?
And with you. Is there a... Do they have, like, a donation box?
They do. They have a small donation box. Little
Just
place
gonna
to.
put a couple of gold, full golders in that as we leave.
They clink down satisfyingly. It sounds like there's actually been a decent number of donations recently. From the sound of coin hitting coin inside.
Take the box.
Meanwhile, Maker, you've been having, all on your lonesome, away from these people, you've been having, like, the most forthright and productive transactions in recent memory. You've just, like, gone up to a physician. They've been, well, what do you need? Who are you? You've explained the matter. And they gave you the potions you needed. No one discussed throwing children across the room. Nobody got sidetracked on middle names. Nobody is fussing about or...
And there are no mentions of lava anywhere.
There were
Yeah.
mentions of lava in the nursery garden.
No. There are no mentions of lava anywhere.
Right.
However, you have gotten a little box of spare elixirs to pick up. You've gotten half a dozen lesser elixirs of life. They are
Nice.
just some nice, like, premium quality medicine. Nice, like, premium quality medicine for adventuring and first aid purposes. With all that, you are kind of gathering up and you are preparing. Like, you've got your, like, immediate arrival. It's sort of getting on in the day. Crom, you have a project that's going to last you a few days. What exactly are you working on?
After going traveling with the caravan, he's picked up a couple of recipes. One of the recipes he's going to try smithing is making a
I did want to mention that Maker wanted to purchase the recipe for lesser for a healing potion.
You absolutely can. That is
He's-
readily for sale.
Just a lesser one because the moderate's a bit expensive. And the minor is pointless.
Mm-hmm.
he's going to create a hat of disguise.
Okay.
An old family
So-
recipe passed on from a couple of Konsuru from long feuding families who'd used the hat to carry on a relationship for quite some time until eventually losing their own in a series of comic misadventures that Crom spent like 3 hours listening to, and they were so like gratified with him that they did what anyone does when they're happy that someone listened to them for 3 hours and gave him a recipe for a magic item.
It's better than handing over the family heirloom, which people seem way too willing to do.
Oh yes, they don't even know where that hat ended up. Like, that hat is, look,
Be
it's
on
in
you.
good hands now.
It could be on
probably.
me. It could be.
No. But
Okay. So crafting, how does it work? Let's see.
You're the
you
expert.
figure that out while
It takes 4 days to craft anything,
yeah.
if I remember correct.
And you've
It's-
basically got a downtime period. So, Crom, you're going to be crafting this, smithing away. We can worry about the exact specifics later, I think. But one day passes into the next. Will you guys want to stay in an inn in town? There's like a nice, like comfortable inn pretty much across the street from the physician's place. Or will you be staying out in like the refugee camp? There are a few tents with room left in them for people to rest.
Is
Yeah,
the
not mind the inn.
Maker
Nice.
would
the
prefer
in-state
Why?
cost?
Maker would prefer the refugee camp so he can set up his lab there.
Right now, the inn costs like for like a set of like cheap rooms. It's gonna be like 2 small rooms with a couple beds each is going to run you probably
Services
about like
tab.
huh
Tab.
probably about like 6 guilders each for each room, so about 12 for the party per day. Or wait, that is I need
Gold
to
is
I
a
need
lot.
to make, yeah, I need to make an adjustment. Gold is a lot bigger in this system. There's been mass deflation in the past.
Well,
5
we did
days.
blow up the major smithing area, so they don't have the coinage anymore.
Yeah, I think let's go with like 2 gold per person.
It goes guilders, shoppers, and thrift stores for gold, silver, and bronze.
No.
I think
No.
we just treat Gowders as gold pieces.
Yeah,
and then
guilders are
we-
gold pieces. I'll say it's about like 2 gold for the party will get you like 1 gold per like good sized room for a night. We'll do it. So
Oh, I have
4
actually
nights.
found it.
4 nights will cost about 8.
It's supposed to be it's supposed to be in the copper ranges.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Phew.
If you're measuring it on a day-to-day basis, lodging.
Oh, here we go. I was having trouble finding it, and I was like,
Found it on the
yeah, that
site,
makes sense.
but
Okay, I'll say you can. It can be like 1 gold for the party for very nice rooms, or it can be like negligible cost. I'm not gonna bother tracking copper like ever. Negligible cost if you just want like cheap rooms, or negligible cost if you want to stay in the refugee camp.
But Bailiff will pay a gold a whole golder for a
A
room
nice room.
for a few days.
You get like some real nice rooms. They've got like these are the kind of rooms that like traders moving through town might stay in. Like big beds, comfortable sheets, soft pillows.
Very good. Very good.
2 square, like a breakfast and a dinner made by like a pretty skilled chef with local ingredients. As long as you like fish, there's fish at like every meal here because it's part 2. There's fish at every meal everywhere that isn't like a deep inland town.
Brum's actually not used to having fish, so he's finding it quite a unique experience.
Well, it's time for spines.
Well,
River fish are full of them. Oh.
good. We have a nice dry place because apparently I have homework to do.
That's what you get for taking the name of an ancient order belonging to a dead god.
I didn't know it was he was an order. I thought it was one person.
Well, for now, we're going to make your homework. You're going to come with me back to the nursery, and
Well,
yeah.
Some great scholar you turned out to be.
I am a magnificent scholar
Then-
of soul arts.
Then why didn't you do the research?
Because he's not involved with the soul arts.
So,
Do you see these arms? I can craft these onto somebody, but you know what? I don't have the exact historical dating of a child's book.
I thought it was your favorite book.
It is.
You should have known more about it.
Do you even know how to read? Yeah,
That's
I thought
it.
so.
So you want to fight now, do you?
You know what? No.
The wise choice.
I'm not going there, you brute.
the sheer like energy and conviction behind, you know what? No. Okay. So,
Not gonna play on
let's,
his playing field.
over the next few days, Crom, you're at your anvil, just pounding away at that hat. It's
you're supposed to sew a hat
I'm taking liberties.
playing.
There's a lot of metal goes in that.
He puts a few pieces of cloth on it, hits it with a hammer. It suddenly springs up. That's how you make hats.
It's Team Fortress 2 crafting. You make hats out of scrap metal.
uh,
A shitty helm.
it's
Or disguise.
Adventurer,
It's
let me
coming
fix your
together.
shirt for you. Clang, clang, clang.
The hat of disguise itself must be disguised.
It's coming together, even if it ends up starting to look more and more like a skull cap, like a metal, like a metal little dome that you put on your head.
I was thinking of shaping it like a metal hair comb or
Something like that can work. A hat of disguise in its natural form is never allowed to look good, though. They're, like, by their nature, like, part of, like, the metaphysical compulsion of the hat is that it must be a hat that is ashamed of how it looks.
okay, skull cap it is then.
A little, a sort of, like, metal comb or something could work, though. So Crom is hammering away at that.
Thing of a headband of metal cat ears.
You know? Anyway. Maker, did you say you also had a project to work on?
Maker is just going to be... Well, first I should distribute these 12 elixirs of life among the party, because...
6.
I-
You got... Or you bought some as well?
No, you gave us 12.
I
Half
gave you
a dozen.
half a dozen. Half a dozen, not a dozen.
Oh,
6.
6. Okay.
6, yes.
I guess Maker's going to take one, but the other 5 to... And he's going to be crafting proper potions of healing in course of this downtime.
Elixirs of life. But so Crom's doing that. Maker is sort of like running a little like apothecary down in the refugee camp. Periodically, like while he's waiting for potions to simmer or whatever, he'll be sent like someone who has some like minor medical issue that he can treat with this or that bit of alchemical know-how.
Yeah, because his magical know-how is non-existent. He's not trained in medicine.
We want Crom to carry the 2 elixirs and each of us takes 1. How many
send
do we got? 6.
You send him someone with a broken bone, he's going to suggest sawing it off and replacing it with a prosthetic.
The Solomon approach too.
Pretty much.
In fact, Cross, you're a bit more of a frontliner now, right?
Yep.
Me and Maker take 1, Cross and take 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Makes
sounds.
sense. And could I get the... I don't actually know the crafting system here very well offhand. Do Crom and Maker need to make checks, or does it just happen?
So what?
There is a check. Yes.
So you spend 4 days working on a thing,
Mhm.
then you make a check on it, and
Yep.
depending on the success, you can spend additional days to reduce the material cost of it. You have to spend half the cost in materials at first in order to start the project.
I
And
think
then
the materials here are basically being provided for you because this is something for like the benefit of a significant investment for the rebellion. You do not have to worry about buying the materials yourself.
Okay. So then I shall make a roll. And it
Go for it.
be DC. It says here DC 16 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Efficiency.
Do you get any of those crafting items?
Yes, he's going.
Okay.
He has a crafting. What is it? Eye of crafting. A crafter's eyepiece. So he puts that on.
God, he's got
Spins
a
it
little
around.
monocle. He's got a little monocle.
Yep.
I love it.
A smithing monocle.
That 11 has just been sitting in chat charging up energy. It's time to defeat it. Make your roll.
Well, it is going to be a Verd roll, a first Verd roll of a session, so
Go for it.
Okay.
So what do you think it's going to be, Yuli? A 3 or a 2?
I'm going to bet on 3.
What do you need to succeed?
I need a 16.
No, I mean on the roll.
Don't ask him
The
to
roll
math.
itself.
Let him just put in the number.
Oh, hey.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a powerful roll. So that's like a straight up a critical success.
all right.
Be-
What does that get you? Critical successes tend to matter.
So, your attempt is successful. Each day spent crafting reduces the materials needed to complete the item by an amount based on your level +1 and your proficiency rank in crafting, which is based on a chart that they give here.
Okay, so it's not super relevant here, but it is good to know. You are applauded for your efficient and skillful work, and you make the hat look shockingly nice for a hat of disguise. Maker,
It's faulty.
It's
Make
It's faulty
him-
because of how good it
could
looks.
you get me Maker's check for whatever he's crafting?
Also, could somebody link me this page because I'm having trouble finding it on
Yeah.
archives.
Yep. Give me 1 second. You continue doing what?
Thank you.
Oh, that's a 20.
Oh, yeah, you also critically succeed.
Oh,
Incredibly
sure.
powerful.
Outdo.
Oh, come on! Really? Really? Are we really going to do this?
Crom's like, look at this amazing hat that I just made, and Maker just like chuckles and like,
You've literally one-upped him.
quite literally, yes.
Perfection.
The birth of a rivalry. Meanwhile,
I'm trying to see if there's a way, if there's any way to decide, because I'm crafting consumables. Do I have to craft them one at a time?
You can craft things in batches of 4
Ah, perfect.
of the same item, and you make me sick.
Meanwhile, while that's all going on, Bayleaf and Justicia, I would like each of you to select a skill and justify using it for childcare and roll it to see how like actually helpful you are around the nursery garden.
Less crafting it is.
Oh, that's okay.
Occultism.
I am going to go ahead
I will
and
teach the kids of Yog.
Praise
The-
Yog, children.
I will go ahead and use diplomacy. I think I can justify that for just general, like,
Yeah,
stop hitting
getting
her.
along.
No, share your toy. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Let's see. Deception to make the kids think I actually like them.
Survival, more like it.
I'm thinking diplomacy or no. She's not intimidating. She'll try and get along with people. With occultism, no. Performance. She'll use performance.
Okay, roll it.
Hey, look at us.
We're perfectly in sync.
Oh, I don't like this for when we actually fight something. We're using
up
all
our good
our...
rolls. Yeah.
Yeah, this is bad.
So, you two, over the course of a few days, you're actually kind of good at this. Like, look, like, not gonna like exaggerate, not gonna like go like, oh, you're not like the best ever, but you, for people who are just like walking in and taking some like lessons and volunteering, basically, you're helping out around. The nursery garden is a big place, lots of like, as the name suggests, there are a lot of like interior gardens. There's a lot of spaces for teaching and activities and sort of like communal care in various senses. In Partu, it is quite common in any settlement of any size larger than like a tiny village, really, where like the village itself is basically the nursery garden. It is quite common to raise children communally in a facility like this, where they can. It is essentially like mixed purpose daycare and school and sort of temple to Nessus. That bit is kept largely on the down low, but there are a lot of former priestesses here who just quietly carry a torch for the faith. It is a interesting experience for Destitia in particular, as it is extremely different from her own upbringing of please sit in this room while a variety of tutors come and instill various skills that you will need in order to not die.
She has resisted several times to
Dismantle a child.
color spray a group of them to get them to calm down. But she manages not to do that.
She seems quite popular with the kids.
Of course I am.
endlessly-
I'm popular with everyone.
They're endlessly fascinated by her interesting choice of prosthetics. She gets a lot of questions as to like what exactly she is. A lot of people think that she's like half spider folk or something like that.
Mysterious consul child asking for her legs.
Yes, that child hasn't yet shown up again, but somewhere she is plotting a plot to get hold of Destitia's legs. One day she will put it into motion, and
A recurring villain is born.
yeah, the worst Destitia really has to deal with here is like if she's like eating food at any point and puts it down, it will just get eaten by someone else. Like, she cannot eat her lunch in peace.
There was also the one child that stabbed her, but she got over that quick.
Look, it wasn't stabbing, it was like they were running with a sharp object, okay? And
Which is good thing she also resisted activating her blood vendetta reaction.
Child running with a sharp object. It's after they were running around premises in a safe way, and Baby was like, "No, if you need to fight somebody, turn them this way."
yes, Bayleaf, extremely popular for other reasons, which is that she is just like
I'm a climbing frame.
terrible influence.
Wait, why? What? You're both terrible influences. Why did we leave these people with children?
What are you talking about? They need these skills to survive in the world. Like, what happens if one of these kids are like
Oh.
trying to put out their thesis and one of their classmates, jealous, attempts to poison them?
May I make a thievery skill check to try and teach these children how to sleight of hand pocket stuff?
Sure. Yes, go for it.
It starts off as like magic tricks, and it's like, oh, how do you do that? Well, you see.
Bailey
What's that
succeeds
one?
in teaching the children, but she is like noticed by one of the priestesses who just kind of pulls her aside and is like, "What are you doing?"
That's valuable skills for the days to come. Come on, you're teaching them the morality of acts. I gotta teach them the practicality.
Fine. Look, just
No, don't believe her.
Deception check.
You hear Crom in the
This
distance.
is deception. This is true.
Diplomacy then.
Poor Crom, the only one that has a moral backbone, and he's off somewhere else.
Nonsense. Maker has a moral backbone. It's just weird. It's just blue and orange.
That doesn't count.
it's full and orange because it's oxidized copper.
True enough.
But yes.
Prom is off haberdashing. I just really wanted to say that.
Chet wants to ask whether Desticia's moral backbone was lost when her lab was raided. She had it on display.
He removed it to add more arms.
She replaced
The
it
moral
with a
backbone has been altered.
But
She needed a new, more flexible backbone.
Bayleaf and Desticia, they learn, they get some like important hands-on experience with what like the day-to-day duties of Niscali priests actually are, which is like remarkably focused on like making sure children don't poison themselves.
Yes, you're supposed to poison others. You learned this in Airgead.
Yeah, there's a lot of times when Desticia gets like pulled aside and given like a short lecture on like, no, that's not how we do things here. We teach community and solidarity.
You don't keep charcoal in your lunchbox just in case?
No, we don't.
Huh.
That's what we're trying to get across to you here.
Amazing.
There's a certain degree of
Is that safe?
yes. If a child is poisoned, we have anti-venom on hand. We have antidotes. And the children
Wow.
don't poison one another. That's not something that we worry about. And if
what
it is,
happens-
then they're a child and they need to be instructed why that's wrong. As
What if
opposed
it's a nerve agent? Then how do you go get the antidote if it's not on hand? You gotta think of these things.
What about a rifle orphanage poisoning the stock?
there
In the
there
distance,
are
you can
no
also hear
rifle-
Bailey going, now, if you need to hide something, the small of your back is a place that a pat-down check rarely reaches.
It's a
Students
time for
are
many
having the
lessons.
best week of their lives.
the students are having the best week of their lives. And the other students, which is to say Bayleaf and Desticia, are getting
Learning.
they're getting a lot of lectures from people who are thankfully in a job that requires immense patience and understanding.
We are the children.
There's like a couple times when like Desticia like goes off on about like about rival assassinations and like she gets lectured by like an 8-year-old about like proper etiquette and trust of others.
What would Chrome be teaching the children if he were there?
How to make hats.
It's arts and crafts with Crom.
Maker would be teaching the basics. Telekinesis, detecting magic, the stuff.
He'd probably sword fight the children.
Chrome?
Gently, yes. Like
Oh,
little
yeah, I
toy
suppose he would-
swords.
Yeah.
I would probably
Yeah,
throw them.
Look,
Also that.
Bayleaf and Justicia are getting like gentle lectures. Crom, when he shows up with like a bunch of like wooden swords, he is like gently led outside. There's a step too far, and he has crossed it. But
Really? Talking about assassination and teaching children how to steal, but letting just playing pretend sword fighting is a step too far.
oh,
I know when I'm not wanted.
Let's say Maker shows up at least once and tries to teach the children cantrips and heresy.
have you considered rejecting all divinity?
In the temple?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where else would you teach that?
Yeah, he's probably not allowed in there either.
If Crom brings sufficiently, if Crom brings swords that are clearly toy swords, then he will be allowed to bring them in.
Yeah, he's not
But,
bringing real swords to give them
like,
children.
at this
No,
point, I don't know.
Not like
Let's
legs.
hand off some real warfare toys here.
Look,
From my standpoint, I think Crom is like the only person here that would responsibly take care of the injury.
You've been hanging out with Justicia and Bayleaf too long, Ameline. Not everyone is here to corrupt the children.
that is that is basically the mindset of like the priestess when she sees like another one of this group coming with like an armload of like wooden swords. She's just like, no. I have limits. I have standards. I have been asked to teach this blue-haired weirdo about the precepts of Nessus. I have no obligation to the guy with a bunch of swords. She thanks you for your help, but like, man, she seems kind of relieved to no longer have your assistance at the end of all this. But you are able, after like a couple days, to swing by the tailor and pick up your new outfits.
We can finally match our character.
Yes, your outfits can like largely match what your character art is now, as opposed to being.
Wow. Draken got a nice set of Emperor's clothing then.
Yes. Emperor's new
I
shirt, Emperor's new trousers. Maker got like a. Maker got a set of ranger clothing, basically like big, voluminous cloak, hood that he can pull forward. He'd look perfectly at home, like sulking in the dark corner of any tavern, waiting for some halflings to
Strider.
wander by.
I'm gonna need to draw that. Gonna have to draw that.
Strider is a different
Probably.
one
I
of
was
the
going to
Lekmari
mention that,
founders. The 5 founders of Lekmara. Maker is one of them. Strider's another. Deceiver's a third. Then, with that, you do actually look presentable enough that you could probably go into the Imperial garrison part of town without drawing, like, overt attention.
All right, you come here. Crom towers over Justicia, puts one hand on her shoulder, raises the other, and then dink, gently puts the comb into her spike bun. Here, use this in order to disguise yourself.
Don't you think it clashes a little bit?
No,
I just made it.
he
What if it's
he flicks it, and it's activates, changing her to like a short red-haired. Short red-haired. She has a.
Try your word, Crom.
Crom is so angry. He has become incoherent.
I guess you're not really a wordsmith, huh?
I'm going to drag you through them.
Please.
Grabs the back of her head and.
So, what does Distish's disguised form look like? Putting you on the
He's-
spot.
You kind of right-click invert color.
Oh, it's a different fighting game palette. I like to play red this year.
No,
This
she's gonna.
T-ship. Player 2 version.
Yeah, player P2
Oh,
Justicia.
I have that.
Oh, you do have that. We have a player 2 Justicia made up.
You have
Perfect.
that? Oh
Yes,
my.
we do.
1 second, I'll post it.
From one of our basic designs we were developing for color scheme.
Beta Justicia.
Yeah.
We found the hidden files.
Crom has peered outside of time.
Modded Stitch's original colours
What
back
were in
in.
those health potions?
Okay, what is this?
Oh, shiny
Doesn't-
this year.
Okay. Give me a cropped version of that, and I can.
We should
Give me a
have
cropped
put
version of that
in-
without the background, and I can temporarily
We
transform
should have
her.
put that for Twitch chat.
I'm posting it.
Oh, don't post it yet. It has to change on the screen.
Fine.
This Tisha used to be much more sizable, wasn't she?
It's beta. Things were changed.
So, Distisha's hat makes her like strawberry blonde and increases her cup size by like several
That's
letters of the
unintentional.
alphabet. Apparently. And it changes
Oh.
nothing else about her visually. I don't think that's going to be a very good disguise, I'm going to be honest.
I mean, her shoulder pads are aiming down now, not up.
We might need to maybe change the shape of the hair. But I really liked this. That my brother.
Color
Now
suit,
we're
yeah.
going. Are we going to be forcing Emmeline to swap the crosses picture every other session?
Let's not do that.
I think I think Foundry actually has a function where you can flip a token over.
That would be cool.
Interesting. Oh, we can figure something along those lines out, especially if she's going to be spending extended periods of time in disguise.
I'm gonna have to make a whole like menagerie of disguises.
There, I posted it.
Excellent.
With her disguised, I suppose we can head to the garrison. Wait, guys. Why are we visiting the garrison? Like, if they ask.
That is a good question. Why are we going there in the first place? We're looking for work as we're traveling north. It's pretty much the same thing we did in the last town.
Steal another Imperial crab.
And another car. Right.
Except we're going to sabotage the work.
In Gallon, we got a crab and brought it. Well, we went to search for a crab. Maybe they lost some crabs on the way to Pymus.
I think we have enough crabs.
You can't just go into every Imperial garrison and assume they're down a crab.
Think of it. We could have two of them.
As you kind of discuss this, there is a portion of the center of town where it looks like some of the older buildings were demolished and replaced with pretty like sturdy, heavily fortified like Imperial style buildings. It's not like a proper like Imperial quarter, but you see like a garrison building. You see like a sort of a fortified vault, really, where like thralls are stored when they're not in use. You see a bit of like housing, including the manor house for the local praetor, which is pretty identifiable. It's right here. It's like small, kind of tidy building. You also see the one of the like tall like pylon buildings that are used to send messages from one Imperial settlement to another via arcane magic.
What's the guard presence like around here?
There are a fair number of guards, like inside the garrison. They seem to be like the guards are not very spread out. They are on alert, and they are patrolling in what. Give me a society check from anyone.
Mm-hmm. Gotta remember which tabs are which on the sheet.
All right.
It's the one of the hand.
So Maker recognizes this pretty readily. Any like Marin knows a decent amount about Imperial
Everything.
military structure. It is something they've got to deal with. And a standard Imperial sentry consists of 60 thralls and usually about 20 soldiers and like 20 support personnel, like mages, engineers, people who man heavy weapons. But, like out on a street, a standard patrol unit is a decanus, which consists of 2 soldiers and 8 thralls. And that seems to be what's like marching around largely. You've got like pairs of soldiers with redundant talismans to avoid potentially losing control of thralls. If one of them
to
goes
avoid
down.
the events that happened in Airgead.
Yeah. And each of them moves with like a small contingent of 8 thralls, occasionally 6 if they're stretched particularly thin. Because generally the entire like soldier portion of the garrison is not usually all deployed at once. Some of them are kept back, like resting, recovering, that kind of thing. So you've got these like within this like garrison part of town, you've got a couple of these like 10 strong patrols in the street. Some of them seem to be leaving to head out into the town. Others are sticking by and like guarding the temple, guarding the manor house, guarding the garrison and the sending pylon. There's a lot of like tension in the air. They seem to be like very furtively viewing a lot of the townsfolk as like potentially threatening, but the impression you get is that like none of the soldiers want to act because they feel very outnumbered right now. Like a lot of these soldiers are not Aerodon like import soldiers. They are local troops, and they are definitely feeling the like pressure of like the communal ire being directed towards them like more openly than it ever really has been before. So there's a lot of kind of paranoia in the air right now.
It's tense.
It's tense.
She continues to walk forward as if she belongs there, as she tends to do in Imperial areas.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to make your way to the manor house or to the garrison?
Where is the place we would most likely get work to go north? Is it? Do we get?
The manor house is going to have the local praetor, who is the like civil authority. The garrison is generally going to house the consul, who's the military authority.
I say we go for the praetor because
We
He's
don't want
right.
to. We don't want to help the military at all.
Well, I imagine right now the military is probably on high alert, and it might actually be disrupting the civil authorities' ability to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's do that.
So
the
manor
Praetor.
house it is.
It's it's like a sturdy building. Not really. Look, it's not a pretty building. The one in Galleon Village looked like it had been made with more of an eye towards aesthetics, but this place is like basically a small fort. It's nice on the inside once you get a glimpse in there, but the exterior, you've got a single guard with like pair of thralls waiting outside, just like holding on to a just like a standard issue spear and shield, kind of giving you a wary look of pardon, I don't recognize you. What business do you have with the Praetor?
We're here offering aid. We're a mercenary band, and well,
We
yeah,
were planning on heading north a little bit, and we're coming in to see if the Praetor could use a hand or two sending anything up that way. It got your hands full here, it looks like.
Local. The Praetor did send any mercenaries that happened to. Very well. Go on. Go on. I'm going to have to ask that you leave your weapons outside, however. Things are high strung in the town at the moment. I'm sure that you can understand in your line of work.
Of course.
boss.
He does like look at Desticia's legs, but he doesn't like ask for them. He doesn't really seem sure how to approach. Like, what is it?
Yeah,
Is it like a breach of etiquette or not to ask for someone's legs when those legs are swords?
I was wondering when this problem would come up, and she is going to blissfully ignore it until something stops.
For now,
Give her crutches. She can't use the legs if she has crutches because her hands are taken. That's how the rules go. Maker has no weapons. Technically,
Well-
he has a gauntlet.
My weapon's disguised.
Yeah. So is Maker's. He has a gauntlet. It has a blade, but it's retractable. Also,
big
his
fancy
eye
cloak,
shoots ice and fire.
hidden blade. Dang it, Maker's become an Ubisoft
Blade-
protagonist.
God damn it! I just wanted to keep the idea that he has like a blade, a hidden blade in his eye.
Yep. So
Also, he shoots lasers from his eye.
you head into this like manor house, and you're pointed down a hall to a meeting room on the first floor, where you encounter this just the local Praetor is this like incredibly like frail looking old human who you have rarely seen anyone under any circumstances radiate such a powerful desire to just be somewhere other than right here. He's dressed in these Heartland style purple robes, like heavy cloth, not remotely waterproof. And you've got like, there's like a scent of like incense and ink in the air. He has a red book tucked into a pocket on his robes, and he seems to be like heavily rattled, like in a way that, give me a insight? Is that what it's called in this system?
Not a thing.
Insight is not a thing in Pathfinder, right? Perception. Give me a perception check. From anyone.
That's deception. Whoops.
The opposite.
Right there.
Oh yeah, perception is not actually a skill.
Just,
Yeah, what the hell is
Stisha,
here.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Stisha picks up that that this guy looks like pretty recently rattled. Like he looks like someone who, like, just got spooked. Like in the past, like, few minutes. Like he's still kind of, like, a little bit shaky as he seems to be sorting through, like, walking around a table with like a bunch of, like, paperwork, like, scattered all across it, cleaning up a few places where people seem like they were sitting recently.
This is very worrisome.
Oh,
I'm getting a bunch of extremely good rolls in non-combat situations.
oh dear. Oh dear. Who are you? The door guard let you through, so I assume you're not anyone particularly threatening.
Nice. Simple mercenaries traveling town and preparing to go north. Looking for work?
Wonderful. Praetor Aulus, at your service. A loyal servant of Eridon, and up until recently, a premier bookkeeper for this particular settlement. The recent excitement is entirely not to my temperament.
I can imagine.
Disruptions to the daily order of the Empire. It's a shame.
Exactly. It's all best if we can keep the grain flowing, keep the food shipping out. It's simple work, but I enjoy the process of optimization. Regardless, things have gone rather terribly the last few days. We have an influx of unworking hands, and a town that seems entirely too willing to put an end to all productive activities to accommodate them. It's deeply troublesome, deeply troublesome. On top of that, there's rumors of, well, I shouldn't even say it. Regardless.
What exactly is happens? We just came up from south, and well, suddenly there's people outside.
Oh, you haven't heard. I'm rather shocked, actually. I would have thought the word would have reached to Army by now. But, yes, there's been a disaster in Airgead, some manner of terrorist activity. I can't say I'm perfectly filled in on the details, but I'm not sure anyone is. Some group of barbarians attempting to rattle the bones of Imperial infrastructure. Senator Minerva's furious, absolutely enraged. I'm
Oh, horrible.
exactly. This is a tremendous setback. It'll take us months to, well, maybe years to begin to even sort out what has been damaged by this, let alone to restore the mineral infrastructure. That could take years. Well, pardon, you did not come to listen to me ramble about logistics. You came for work. Let me see. He looks through the papers. I've a, how far north are you heading?
Let's see. He taps her chin
We're
as the player checks the map.
we were heading up towards Pymus.
Pymus. Interesting. There are aquatic routes. I don't suppose I could convince you to go further. I really would like. Well, no, Pymus is fine. Yeah.
We're always willing to negotiate on pay, sir. So
We were going to hit Pymus and then head towards Thorthul.
I see. Here, take. I've already drafted these. I was actually hoping for a courier. He pushes like a pair of like sealed scrolls. They look pretty identical. Yeah, these are explanations and requests to some of my fellow praetors in the northern settlements. I'll be honest. my counterpart here in the settlement, Lady Aurelia, she is... I need support to... I would need additional voices lent to mine to help dissuade her from any brash course of action. She is a recent arrival from the Heartland, and I believe that she underestimates the savagery of the locals. She has a desire to crack down on these activities with not unwarranted force, mind, but I fear that it would cause something of a backlash should she attempt any kind of widespread arrests or executions.
He doesn't understand the subtleties that you've come to learn in your position.
Yeah, it's something you pick up with experience and time. Act too quickly and or push too hard and, well, it's fairly obvious, isn't it? We loyal Imperials are outnumbered in this land. We will be for quite some time. We cannot afford to provoke the locals more than we need to.
Quite the weight on your shoulders.
Yes.
Don't envy your position.
Truth be told, I don't envy it either. I was hoping for something quieter when I took an agricultural job, but
If you'd like, we could. I'm assuming one for each northern town. Yeah.
yes.
If you want us to carry another one and get it forwarded from where we are, stop off.
Yes, if you could put one on a boat to the Scythia, it would be much appreciated. I would send this out with our sending pylon, but Aurelia has a priority on its use in times of emergency such as this, and I don't think that she would much appreciate me asking
For help.
Yes.
She nods and just goes, "Eyes only, huh?"
Yes, the best way to maintain peace here at the moment is going to be orders from the castrum, and the more praetors we have requesting those orders, the more likely it is that we'll be able to hold back for a little longer until things stabilize, and I hope that the mainland is getting word of this. It'll be some time yet, but we need reinforcements terribly.
Cool. We'll see what we can do.
We'll make all haste.
Thank you. I'm not sure what exactly they'll have on hand, but I'm certain that you'll be well paid for passing these along. Thank you.
It's no small problem for us to do so.
Oh, and yes, do try to avoid the refugee. I hesitate to call it a settlement, but the shanty town that they've propped up outside the gates. It's largely we cannot really afford to send any of our soldiers to patrol that place, and I have a distinct
Rather
impression.
lawless.
Yes, it's a lawless state at the moment. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's the fact of the matter at the moment.
Of course. We'll take that to heart.
Thank you.
We'll get these on the way. Good luck to you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Goodness. To think. He goes back to muttering as he sifts through some papers.
Let's turn around and go, I guess.
Fare thee well, Praetor.
Got any clocks on the way out?
Give me a investigation check.
That's not a thing.
A
It's perception in this.
perception. It's all
Yeah.
perception.
Perception is way more globally used in Pathfinder, which took me ages to get used to.
Yeah.
We go from doing everything with engineering to doing everything with perception.
Man, this session.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of good rolls.
You notice. What's a good? So you don't see any clocks, but you do see there's like a coat rack, and on that rack there is a scarf, like just sort of like a wrap up, muffle yourself up, cozy looking scarf made of some extremely rare and very comfortable silk.
I'd like to try and grab that on my way out. I'm going to collect a thing from every Praetor visit.
Give me a
Thievery, right?
Thievery. Yep.
We have
Yeah.
inspiration in this, right? Hero points,
You-
that's what it is.
You have hero points.
You
Did I
have-
get one for recap?
Yeah, you have 8 hero points for your.
Actually, I
heroic
think
feat.
in this system it does. Everyone gets one at the start
Yeah.
a session, right? And then one from the recap. So yeah,
It's
I'm gonna
very,
go.
like up in the air. I don't think we hashed out what exactly we're doing with hero points yet.
Okay. I'm
But-
gonna re-roll that. Oh, that didn't help. Okay.
Rip.
So you take the scarf, but like it's so soft that like the guard just like pokes their head in and looks at you and is like they just see you like rubbing the scarf like against your face and it's just like what are you doing?
Sorry, I got snagged on the outfit on the way out, and well, then I kind of touched it, you know.
Uh,
Oh, sorry.
and give me a deception. Well, that's the Praetor's own outfit. Please put it back.
Yeah, very sorry. She'll go ahead and hang that back up.
You hang it up and it just sort of sits there forlornly, the most comfortable scarf that you don't own.
I'm coming back for it
One day.
one day.
Oh my.
Regardless. With that, you've got
What?
like most of the activities you were doing here.
There's
Largely.
wind coming in from Draken's mic.
Sorry, what?
Wind coming in from Draken's mic.
Ah, must be my pen. I'm going to reposition myself.
Okay.
So, with that, is there anything further you want to visit in the local settlement, or would you like to?
I reckon we should go and make it known that we're
We're heading out.
leaving,
Mhm.
just in case the resistance needs us to do anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
are
one
able.
less stop.
You're able to get the information.
When we're down there, are we able to meet with? Shit. You know what? I forgot to copy over from the other game. My notes section.
Oh dear.
Me too. I was tracking how many days were going by.
Name of leader man.
Neal.
Nia. Okay. Yeah. Be able to meet with Nia.
Neal. Nial.
Nial.
Al. Yes. Neal.
Yeah. Okay.
You are able to like track him down and find him. What do you want to bring to his attention? He comes of
So
welcome,
We,
welcome. I hear you've been learning at the
we're keeping
local
ourselves busy.
garden.
Hands-on experience.
How's she doing?
You know, she's odd, but I reckon she'll get into this kind of thing. I think she'll be good for us.
All right. Keep it up.
Yeah. On that matter, we went to visit the Praetor stressed man. Good.
Mhm.
Um,
Good to hear.
He's having a little bit of a thing, worries about the consul here bringing in extra reinforcements. She's really pushing for a crackdown.
Yeah.
Interesting.
As to that matter, we're carrying messages north to the other praetors in the north to lend word that the response shouldn't be as fierce. Now, I think that's a good thing for us, right?
Broadly speaking, yes.
But-
Probably. But
And a nasty response can also cause a pushback.
interesting.
And one of these messages getting into her hands can cause some Imperial infighting.
Exactly. Interesting. Infighting
Not
is
the kind of decision I want to make, so we'll bring it to you.
Certainly wouldn't want a volcano to go off in this town.
He
Literally. Figuratively.
he leans back, like kind of crossing one leg across the other and thinking.
But you got to figure out how much innocent lives are worth disrupting the Imperials.
Interesting question. You know, you might have that lieutenant badge mostly to be our friend's minder. But, Lieutenant, you are. Even if this isn't your decision, I'd like to hear what you would make.
She sort of looks up for a second. The way I see it, I'd like her to hear about this after the consul have started to make their move. I'd like there to be food flowing. I'd like there to... as way I say, if we bide our time a little on this, we can lessen the innocent's hurt while still causing disruption. I think these messages should get through, but
Delay.
if one makes it way back.
Interesting. I hadn't quite considered that approach. It's not a bad one. I'll see what we can do and to get a courier from one of those towns to bring the message back once you've delivered it. Have the tools ready to make a copy there. In the meantime, since I expect some degree of reinforcements are inevitable, I will have people set up to intercept them.
If you want, I could try making a copy of it here and now, and you can just hold on to it.
Would be appreciated. We don't have that many skilled forgers, and those documents you made regarding the stables last time were impeccable.
Gary.
Improbable. Doing.
What skill is
you-
forgery in this? There's no, forgery kit.
It
thievery again?
was. I just saw it. It was. I think it's society.
Is it society? Interesting.
Society?
Wait, that doesn't sound correct. Forgery? Wouldn't it be like deception?
Yeah.
Or...
Society trained to action. Create forgery.
That is bizarre.
I might have to redistribute my skills a bit.
You know what? I'm going to say that Bayleaf makes it without a roll this time rather than forcing her to make a weird, incoherent roll.
Okay.
She hasn't forgotten how to forge documents in the past 7 days.
Yeah, and I will take a look at my build after this.
All right. All that said, sounds like you're heading out, so we'll be parting ways for some time. He offers a handshake.
Shake ahead.
She gives her hand.
Just a firm, shake once across the table. Good luck.
Good luck to you.
And with that,
Trying not to die now.
I've had a word from the kid that your flatback has fully recovered from the last vestiges of its old injury, and your... What is that other machine that you've got stabled with it?
I don't have a clue.
Well, whatever it is, it seems to be enjoying a diet of little scraps of ore. I don't know, but whatever works. We'll have those brought around to the north gate and see you on your way.
All right. Hopefully, see you in future, huh?
With luck.
I wish you luck.
With that, is there anything else you need to do before you're off?
Not that I can think of.
I
No.
can't think of any.
Yeah, I
Gather
think
your
good.
things, load your supplies onto your crab, and you are once again
On the road.
on the
You know,
road.
we should replace Crumb's face with the crab.
We should. I will make a point of that.
What?
The crab is now the party leader, I'm sorry. But you start making your way through the wilderness. But that, as you head into the increasingly warm and tropical regions of Partu, into the Grand River Delta area, that seems like a good place to end our session.
Okay.
Already.
Sounds reasonable.
Thank you to everyone for playing, and thanks to everyone in the audience for watching. If you've enjoyed this game and are interested in participating, you can hire me. I run tabletop games professionally in a wide variety of systems and genres. Just check out the About tab on my channel for a rundown on how you can get in touch with me. I would love to work with you to set up exactly the kind of game you and your group are looking for. I have actually been running a very enjoyable Powered by the Apocalypse Shadowrun game recently. It's been very good fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what other kinds of games I have the opportunity to run. Until next time, though, be kind where you can, brave where appropriate, and always try to act in solidarity with those less fortunate than yourself.